Perhaps you would have achieved glory for guiding Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. What?
Bortus, the captain says get your ass up here.
Egotastic FunTime.
Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today, we're gonna have a great time, you guys, taking a deeper look at the world of the Orville with an episode that let us all know, damn, this show's got juice. I'm talking about Season 1, Episode 3, About a Girl. In this episode, we pick up where we left off in Command Performance, where it's revealed Bortus and Clyden's child was born female, although they come from a single-gender, all-male species. Bortus asks Dr. Finn to perform a gender reassignment surgery so that the child will conform to Moclan societal norms, of which she promptly refuses, saying, "Aw, hells no, I ain't gonna give that baby girl a boy penis. Are you crazy?" Or something like that, I'm paraphrasing. Bortus then goes to Ed, who is playing A Million Ways to Die on the environmental simulator with John and Gordon, to intervene and order Claire to perform the surgery. But Ed also finds the request goes against Planetary Union ethics and says no. Later on the bridge, while the Orville breaks up and diverts a meteor from eventually colliding with Elnoth 4, a Moclan ship arrives stating that Bortus had requested a rendezvous so they can take the child back to Moclus and perform the gender reassignment surgery there. Mercer, angry that Bortus would go behind his back and possibly cause a rift between the Moclan-Human alliance, relieves him of duty. The crew try various ways of trying to convince Bortus to change his mind. Alara by getting in the ring and showing him that a woman can be just as strong as a man.
My turn.
John and Gordon try their hand at teaching Bortus a lesson using the spirit of Christmas, which actually works?
Christmas would have been ruined if Rudolph had been euthanized at birth as his father wished.
What the fuck?
Watch the child for me. I must find Clyden.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, he just left his baby with two drunk dudes.
With a new perspective, Bortus finds Clyden and lets him know that he thinks they should not alter their child's sex and let her decide for herself when she's older. It's then that Clyden reveals that he wants the surgery performed because he too was born a female and that Bortus has actually been in a straight marriage all these years without knowing it. What? Now that Bortus has changed his mind, Ed and Kelly refuse to allow Captain Vorak to take the child back to Moclus against Bortus's wishes. But Bortus intervenes by requesting a tribunal to determine the fate of the child, and Kelly is appointed as his advocate. On planet Moclus, the tribunal begins. Advocate Kagus, representing Clyden, tries to prove that allowing the child to remain female would cause irreparable damage to her, as she would be shunned by Moclan society. Kelly tries to prove that the differences in gender aren't so black and white, as some women can be just as strong as a man, and men can be less intelligent as well. Some men just aren't that intelligent.
Give me your closest guess.
What was the capital of the United States of America? Nabisco?
No.
The moon?
Let's move on.
Later, Ed, Alara, and John go on a secret away mission to track down a key witness that can turn the entire trial around. A female Moclan living alone in a cave somewhere, like Nell from that movie Nell, but also turns out to be the secret identity of Moclus's most respected and famous writer, Gondis Eldon, a male pseudonym she wrote under because Moclan society would never accept her, because men are dogs.
Woof.
With this new evidence to consider, the tribunal still decides that the gender reassignment procedure will be performed anyway. After the procedure, Bortus and Clyden are presented with their new baby boy, who they have named Topa, and Bortus vows to give him a good life no matter his gender. We also learn that Yaphet is more than happy to invite Claire over to his gender reveal party.
There's more where that came from.
Get out.
In About a Girl, the Orville takes on the modern social stigmas and debates surrounding gender politics in a bittersweet yet triumphantly thoughtful story about the fate of Bortus and Clyden's child. Once again, the Orville stepped it up even more betterer than the previous episode and tackled some extremely relevant social issues going on today, providing very interesting commentary on gender identity and sexism. Both issues that we're all well aware of and have opinions on, but we're not going to discuss here on Egotastic FunTime because smarter people with smarter shows can do a much smarter job than me when it comes to talking transgender politics and whether or not having boobs should be considered a disability.
Hey Doc, I'm not feeling well. I've had the tits all day.
Besides tackling these really serious issues in the episode, which is something I used to love about Star Trek, I was really surprised with how mad Ed got with Bortus when he went behind his back. There was no humor in the scene at all. It was a very serious matter, so this is the moment that I knew the Orville is definitely not a spoof, but a serious endeavor to provide us with a vision of a utopian future that actually takes on social issues. This is when I knew that real classic sci-fi was finally back on primetime television. The final ruling by the Mocklin Tribunal that resulted in Topaz still being given the surgery to make her a male despite going against Bortus's wishes was an incredibly mature bit of writing, you guys. I mean, if this story happened in a 90s Star Trek show, everything more than likely would have worked out in the end. But the Orville really stepped things up, letting us know that while they're holding up a mirror to society to make us think and consider both sides of an argument, that they don't necessarily have the right or easy answer. The hope and wisdom from this story comes from how Bortus decides to move forward after all is said and done.
It is a good name, and we must give him a good life, whoever he becomes.
It'd be silly for me not to mention that About a Girl reminded me of one of the best episodes of Star Trek ever made, The Next Generation's The Measure of a Man. In this episode, Picard must prove Data is legally a sentient being with rights and freedoms under Federation law, when transfer orders from this dick demand Data's reassignment for study and disassembly. Unwilling to submit to disassembly for obvious reasons, Data resigns from Starfleet, but Maddox, this dick, claims that Data is property of Starfleet and doesn't have the right to resign. Picard requests a hearing to prove that Data is a sentient being, and Riker is picked to represent the dick side because, like I said, he's a dick. It's seriously one of the most Star Trek-y Star Trek episodes ever made, and a fan favorite for sure. About a Girl, which I refer to as The Measure of a Woman, lives up to the success of that TNG episode for me, and it further proves the Orville is the type of show that we've all been missing for so long. About a Girl was originally the second script written for the series and was the first to air on the Orville's Thursday night time slot. In the scene where Gordon, John, and Bortus are watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, it kind of looks like Gordon is about to cry. Scott Grimes admits in an interview that he was holding back tears in this scene. He says he grew up with that movie and it always made him cry, so he just went with it. The Have a Slimy Day pillow alien in the Matter synthesizer room is a cameo by Julius Sharp, a writer and co-producer on Family Guy. In the Wild West dance-off scene at the beginning of the episode, Jay Lee actually had to learn how to ride a horse just to film the scene. The episode title, About a Girl, is more than likely a play on the movie About a Boy, starring Hugh Grant and this stupid little kid. Advocate Kagas was played by Antonio D. Charity, K-Brack was played by Lamont Thompson, and Captain Vorak was played by Diobia Opere. The role of Havina, aka Gondis Eldon, was portrayed by New Zealand actress Rina Owen, who you might recognize as Helen from that scary mermaid show on Freeform called Sirens. If you're wondering what song Kelly was quoting in the episode, it was Survivor by Destiny's Child.
Those are words of great power. Who wrote them?
I think it was actually about 15 different people.
About a Girl was written by Seth MacFarlane and directed by Brandon Braga, who said that The Orville is the most challenging series he's ever worked on, that dealing with such serious issues yet still finding the humor is a challenge for him, but luckily Seth is there to make sure it happens right. The episode had an incredible reception from critics who gave it high praise, saying that its poignant yet tragic ending reminds us that cultural change does not happen overnight. Even though About a Girl was the first episode to air on the Thursday night time slot, it had over 4 million television viewers, the third highest for the season overall, and received a 7.9 rating on Internet Movie DB, which is what all the kids are calling it. Also, I'm not sure exactly when About a Girl was supposed to air, but I always found it strange that Ed and Kelly walk away in this weird embrace. Not once, but twice! They weren't getting along that well this early in the season.
We have Monopoly. You can be the car.
Kel, I'm always the car.
Yeah, but maybe this one time since he's our guest.
You can be the thimble.
The drama-heavy narrative for this episode in a show that everyone thought was going to be a Galaxy Quest-style Star Trek spoof became a huge fan favorite and proved that the Orville has what it takes to bring science fiction back to television and give us hope that humanity's best days are not behind us, but ahead. It also reminds us of a universal truth that should never be forgotten, you guys. That girls just want to have fun. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today, and I talked about it. How about you? What was your first impression of About a Girl? Were you surprised at the serious nature of the episode, or how it kind of had like a bummer of an ending? What do you think is in store for Bortus, Clyden, and Topa in Season 2? You can let me know what you think by joining the conversation below. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my stupid show. It really does mean the world to me, you guys. I'll see you very soon, and as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times. Love you, bye-bye!
Egotastic fun time, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic fun time, give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give me all your 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 money.